Good.
Oh,
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our night Incarceration to Incorporate podcast show tonight. We have our two lovely guests, Miss Dina Dickinson and Angela Wright, on tonight. And Mr. Hall, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm on here with three awesome ladies. What else could I ask for?
Yes,
Three
sir.
awesome ladies, and then I ain't got nobody in here but me. What man wouldn't want to be around three women? You know, then I got AB coming in a minute to spoil it. Julius is on vacation somewhere, goofing off. I don't know where he at, but he won't be with us tonight. But we're gonna make it do what it do. AB should be in a minute. I sent him the link. He told me that didn't show up on this thing. I know he don't know what he's looking at. He done been off about 12 weeks now, opening his new business. So we've been filling in for him, doing all the work for him. So he needs to come on and get in where he fit in with these ladies.
Yes. So anyway, like Mr. Hall say, Julius Campbell, which I call him Miko, he is off tonight, everybody. But I like to just give a shout out to those that are listening to Incarceration to Incorporate. We are here. This, like as Miko would say, this is a safe space for you to come on and tell your story, and that being a returning citizen is not a bad thing. That we are here, we are changing the narratives. And so, like I said, we have Miss Dina Dickinson, which is the director of OAA, and we have Miss Angela Wright, and they're here to share their stories tonight. These are two successful women who are also returning citizens. So, hi, Miss Dina. We're going to start with you first. So what we're going to do is you're going to tell me who you are, and then you're going to go into what is your relationship to incarceration.
Hi, I'm Dina Dickerson. I am the Director of Programs for OAA, the Offender Alumni Association, based here in Birmingham, Alabama. We were privileged to be able to expand over into Georgia in 2018. And we've met some wonderful people there that are leading the charge to reach our hands back to help our brothers and sisters as they're exiting incarceration to embark upon a path of success for them, in spite of the collateral consequences that we all are challenged with after incarceration.
Okay. Angela, I just want you to introduce yourself and tell the people who you are.
I'm Angela Wright, returning citizen. I served 13 years, 10 months, and 20 days in federal prison for conspiracy to distribute drugs. I've been home approximately 7 months, launching a line, felon, and it stands for front runners, eliminating labels, overcoming negativity. And I'm also involved with Dina Dickinson, with OAA and Credible Messengers, which is a mentor program to help our youth.
Okay, so Miss Dina, now tell me your relationship and going to what is your relationship to incarceration? How long did you serve in prison?
Yes, I am a formerly incarcerated individual. I served 10 years on a 114-year sentence for a nonviolent offense 10 years after my first incident. And as alcoholism had taken its toll in my life. And so I was released in 2012, and I've been home almost 10 years.
Okay.
Yay.
Awesome.
That's really
Awesome.
good. So
That
was
is,
go ahead,
and
Miss Hall. I'm sorry.
I thought I was muted or something.
Oh no, go ahead. No, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Hall. What was you gonna say?
Now, I was just saying that it's great to have these testimonies because we have a lot of men on these shows, and they're always talking about everything that they're doing, and we wanted to show the women out that are formerly incarcerated that women are doing some awesome things also, and
That's
we're just glad to have y'all on here to give y'all stories to tell what y'all experienced and tell what y'all doing now. We started this program so that we can be a resource for other people, returning citizens, so that we can give them that information that might help them not to be a part of the recidivism rate that is always climbing. Um, our the person who started Ink is he's supposed to be on here right now. I guess he's watching us. It's Anthony A.B. Barnes. Um, he's and then I started this platform and about 2 years ago. And we have about 13, 14 different shows with about four more starting before the end of the year. Anybody wanting to tune in? This is a network, a platform that we get the information out to our community, telling the stories the way that they're supposed to be told, uncut, raw, uncensored, unapologetic, and real. And we're outspoken as usual. You'll see that if you watch any of our shows. So when y'all share these shows, y'all share, share, share. Don't forget to like and follow and subscribe. We're on YouTube and Facebook. And we brought Marie in. We brought Julius in. They have been, I was running for mayor, as y'all can see back in the back, but they disqualified me because I wasn't home for 10 years yet. I've only been home for 8.5. Well, I'll be home 9 years in January. So they disqualified me because Georgia has this rule where you got to be home for 10 years. And we all went through the system. So Marie and Julius Campbell were filling in great for me and AB. AB was opening the store. I was running for mayor. So we had a whole lot that we were doing, and they filled in just perfect. They bringing all these people in so that information can be sent to where it needs to be sent. We are broadcast live now on a radio station going into FCI Jessup. But that's a men's prison. We need women to hear this also. We need
Right.
everybody who's a ex-offender to hear this, a returning citizen, so they'll know that they don't have to give up. Y'all's testimonies will be part of what we're showcasing to these people to understand that you can go anywhere from the day you walk out. You don't have to worry about going back in if you do the right
Right.
thing. Go ahead, Maria. I know I talk a lot. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. I'm so glad that you're talking, Mr. Hall. Anyway, it is so often said, Dina, that when we come on from prison, that we are bound to go right back. But that is not the case. So I just need to know, like, I understand that you're the director of OAA, but when you came home, right? When you came home after doing 10 years, was your transition easy? Was it smooth? Was it hard? Can you explain that to the people?
On the outer, I think it was smooth. People was witnessing me moving forward in a way that looked like success, but what they didn't understand is that I was going through a mental and emotional transition after being gone for a decade and returning, as I've often put it, as someone that even myself wasn't used to. I didn't know who I was on this side of freedom because I had became something. I had built some character, worked on some inner things that I had carried with me for quite some time, some of the traumas, healed from some of the past things that I had gone through, and coming out to embark upon a journey that I had never been on was difficult and challenging. And what I found easy was my faith, and persons were placed in my path to help me along the journey. And 2 years after I came home, my parole advocate actually invited me to a luncheon where our founder, Deborah Daniels, pitched her vision. Where were the formerly incarcerated individuals that had moved forward successfully? And why weren't we reaching back to help others as ourselves? And I asked when we were going to start. And so we started a support group first, create a network of individuals that had been incarcerated that will help reduce recidivism and empower individuals. And so to meet regularly, to share in our dilemmas and our challenges and come to a solution.
And so, Angela, I want to ask you the same question. Was your transition smooth or hard? Did you have the support of your loved ones? Can you tell us about that?
Yes, my transition, like I said, I've been home approximately 7 months. I was released a little over 7. I was released January 13th through the my compassion release because of the COVID hit. And I filed for compassion release. The judge granted it or whatever. But my transition hasn't been hard. I have a great support system. My mom and my dad, foremost, they supported me throughout my whole entire incarceration, and then coming home, I, was welcomed with, loving arms. So I had somewhere to go. Financially, I was okay, and it just wasn't really hard. And then another thing that didn't make it as hard, I never believed that I would do 30 years in prison.
Right.
So even though being there, I still prepped and prepared mentally and would tell myself and have a vision of things that I wanted to do when I got home. So that way I wouldn't be, pressed or searching. I knew I had my mind made up. I knew what I wanted to do when I got home. So it was just about implementing it once I hit the streets.
So, Dina, Angela, thank you for that. So, Dina, OAA stands for Offender Alumni Association, right? Can you explain that organization to everyone?
Well, OAA is an organization of formerly incarcerated individuals and their family members and supporters thereof that was started 7 years ago by a former offender to create a community of individuals that can support each other in our transition. It grew out to become something that we didn't see at first. We only saw space that was going to be safe, somewhere where we would be able to meet and where we would be able to talk. And a family member showed up one night with her husband, and she said that she was with him when she introduced herself. I mean, that was her identity. I'm with him. And I remember thinking that's how our families were when we were standing in front of the judge awaiting sentencing.
Right.
They were with us, right? And so how family members are incarcerated, as well as the aftermath, the shame that comes with it. And how is it that we can create that same thing that we were receiving amongst ourselves for the family members that oftentimes had some things to say, but would be bashful because their significant other was there, or they were ashamed. And so we created a family supportive community, and then we grew into going into the prisons to give hope to those that were waiting their exit, and sometimes the denials and all the things that we've experienced ourselves. Were able to connect with individuals on that level where they are. And we kicked off our youth program for those individuals that would be threatening justice involvement at an early age. And how is it that we can get in there to deal with them on a social and emotional level, something that we ourselves have been challenged with. And so after 7 years, we've been able to maintain and to grow and to become this national organization as we see it. And so we're just going from state to state, spreading our good news as far as you don't have to return to prison. Help us
You do
spread.
not. That's right. You do not. I am a living witness that you do not have to return to prison. Me, myself, Marie, I did 18 months in prison, and it was 18 months too long. Okay. But it was a learning experience for me, something that, like I said, I never want to do again. And that's why it's not hard for me to reach back and to want to give to the younger people that I see that's going the wrong way. It's not hard for me to say, don't do that. Or let me tell you my story. And then once somebody hear your story and they see that you're going through what they've been through, or that they're going through, they kind of think about it. So, Angela, so what are you doing now that you're home? You're home and you've been home for 7 months. So tell me some of the things that you have been doing.
Okay, I launched my t-shirt line when I first came home and had an opening for that back in April. And like I said, it's an acronym. My company is called Felons Rock. And, you know, people be like, Felons Rock, because we do rock, you know, and I just believe wholeheartedly that something that worked against you, you have to turn around and make it work for you in a positive light. So I can't be ashamed of where I've been, because I believe that it's part of my destiny of where I'm going. So I created this company, and like I said, a t-shirt line, launched my t-shirt line. And then I did a podcast one night, and I met Arthur Powell. And Art Powell was telling me, like, oh, you'll be great. You know, you need to, Dina heard it too. Not Dina. Dina, tell me our Birmingham. Miss Deborah. Yeah, Miss Deborah heard it. And she said, sis, I think it'll be great if you come along and join the team. So at the time, Dr. Danielle Wiley reached out, which is the DA that works for the Northern District of Florida. I'm in the District of Florida. That's where I caught my case. The Northern District of Georgia. And they were doing a summer intervention program for youth, trying to, you know, at-risk youth that were already in trouble. They were trying to keep them out of trouble. So I got involved with that. And then through that, Credible Messengers. So now I'm an administrative assistant for Credible Messengers, and I'm part of OAA. And I just love the new family that I found, and helping the youth, you know, reaching out. The summer intervention went pretty good. And then now we're getting ready to do Tyro. I just was trained to do Tyro, which is a curriculum to teach younger kids as well about choosing a different way, a different lifestyle. So those are the things that I've been doing. And at the beginning of the year, I'll publish my book.
And what is the name of your book?
Pit to Palace Mentality. And the subtitle is 10 Key Principles to See Your Way Through Your Worst Situation.
Awesome. That's great. You got a copy of the book?
I'm sorry.
Where can we get a copy of the book? You got to tell us all this information, girl.
Yeah.
You can't get it to the first of the year. I'm going to launch it at the first of the year. I had planned to do it for my birthday, which is New Year's, but I just feel like that day, you know, everybody had their own thing going on. So I'm aiming for Martin Luther King weekend. That's Sunday.
I got mine too. Crossing the Line, the Julius Hall story, but I can't publish it till after I do the first 3 books. So I'm working on my second book, but I'm not going to publish the first one till last. I don't know whether you understand that. It has to
I
come
understand you're going to go backwards.
Yeah, it's got to go backwards. So I got a book of those two, and then I'm gonna do a collaboration, because you know people in prison, you have a lot of talent that you'll never, and they have time to sit back and hone those skills that they have, those talents and bring it all out. I met some powerful guys while I was locked up. Some prolific writers. These guys write poetry. They write short stories. And there's some bad boys. I got.
That's why I say Felons Rock. We really do rock.
I got a few on here. This book here. That's why I wanted you to get your book and put it up. But for the grace of God, this is a good friend of mine, Donald Gilliard. I want y'all to get this book. For the grace of God, great book. And then it's another one I'm gonna get. Hold on one second. Don't go nowhere.
So we're not going nowhere.
Yeah, don't go nowhere. Okay, Maria stopped me, and then she'll go on. She's just like Julius. But this is I Will Not Be Denied. awesome book. Y'all get a chance to read. I'm glad that you are writing your book, and because those 10 principles, we need to know about them so we can help people stop being repeat offenders. And one thing you said a minute ago was that you can't be ashamed. You darn right you can't.
No,
See,
you can't be ashamed, because if you're ashamed to tell your story, then you're hindering other people from being healed.
that's
You're hindering other people that's in a situation. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical incarceration, but prisons in itself, in your mind, in your family, in your body, in relationships, anything, So by us, if you keep quiet about yours, other people, they'll never reach their healing, or they'll never feel like they have an outlet, somewhere to speak, because they embarrassed. Can't
not
get
only
embarrassed about it.
that, not only that, Angela. The other thing is that you did 13 years for that. There's nothing for you to be ashamed of now.
13 years, 10 months, and 20 days.
Angela say,
Don't
don't
give me
leave
10
off the
months and 20
months.
days.
Okay, I was waiting on you to do the hours and the minutes, but we not. but
Don't leave out that.
you did the time for that, so it's nothing to be ashamed of. Shame, the time killed the shame. See, they
Yes.
thought that I did 21 and a half years in federal prison.
Ooh.
So they thought that I would, with me running for mayor, that they could shame me. Hell, there ain't nothing you could do to say, I did 21 years for that.
Yes.
That's behind me. I'm not going to
Yes.
trip over nothing that's behind me. And once paid, a debt is no longer a debt. I don't owe anybody anything.
But you know what, Mr. Hall, you say that, and that is the truth, right? You say that you don't owe anybody anything, and that is the truth. You don't. But why do society take that? The 30 plus years that the judge gave you, Mr. Hall served 13 years, some months and days. Mr. Hall did 21 years. Dina did 10 years. I did 18 months. Why do society takes that and hold that? They still use it against you, because Mr. Hall, if they didn't, guess what? You would be mayor right now. You are an awesome, brilliant man. You are very wise. So why do society take it and hold it? You know why? Because policy needs to be changed.
Yeah, we do need it's some policy
It
needs to be changed.
It needs to be changed, because you done paid your debt, and if a debt is no longer a debt, why are you still holding me to that?
Correct.
Because it's also a mindset. Mindsets have to change, not just policy, but it's a mindset that's just passed down from generation to generation to generation, over the centuries, over the years. So it's also a mindset. But that's why, guess what? It's people like Mr. Hall that's running for mayor, and Dina. Our family, all us change agents. We're the change agents of our generation, to change the thinking, to change the way policy go, to change the way people look at you. Like, for example, how they started with ban the box. That was a step in the right direction. You understand what I mean? So it just goes. Fellas have hard time getting housing, everything, all that. But we're the change agents. We're the foot soldiers. So it's up to us to just push until we kick the doors down.
Yeah, you got to stay on the ground too, and sometimes it gets heart wrenching, and it doesn't seem like it's doing some things. But if not you, then who, right?
Right.
So that's why we wake up every morning, we suit up and we boot up. It's not for us anymore. Like I tell my guys, that it starts with me, but it's not about me.
Right.
We got to get in there and change and shift the trajectory. And so we are that beacon of hope for others that are behind the walls. And we're that light that says, hey, I'm not my past.
Yeah.
I may have done what you said I've done, but I'm not who you say I am. A good friend of mine gave me that nugget, right? And so we have to continue to say that. And we have to continue to say that. You ever been in a car and a song just came in your head and you just couldn't get it out your head, right? Saying to that point that when persons hear jail or you were released, it doesn't go all the way to the negative. And that's what I've found, is that when an individual hears that, oh, you've been to jail, or you just got out of jail or released from prison, their mind goes all the way. It's not about what you did right away. It's whatever their mind take them to the extreme. You know what I mean? God, what do you do? And I don't know if they think we're murderers. I don't know what it is.
Well, the thing is to let your light shine so that it'll blind them. And when you let your light shine where to blind them, then you don't have anything to worry about. You just got to keep doing you, because that's what I do. I just do me. Everybody calls me, and I ain't bragging. I just left Jackson. I had to rush back from Jacksonville. I'm on a team. Look at a site in Jacksonville. I'm doing 1,000 things. I'm in demand everywhere in this county. I work different political campaigns for people. You want to get elected, you call me. But so I made myself accessible to people. I made myself a servant of my community, and y'all do the same. Ain't nothing can stop you. Don't let nothing embarrass you, because guess what? If you do, then it's holding you back. You can't let nothing stop you. You think I care what anybody say to me? Hell, I came home. I got a $250,000 house. I got married to a doctor. I got 2 brand new cars. I don't care. I built what I built from the ground up after I came home. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you, don't let my lights blind you. Don't let my
Right.
it's gonna shine. I'm just doing what I do. This is what is in me. Y'all got to do what's in y'all to make sure that you be successful from this point on. And that's what it's all about. Nothing else matters, because if you let something else matter, then you go into depression. You,
Yeah.
you can't
Yes.
let nothing bother you. Do what you do.
I took and Angela, you had brought up Band in the Box, and we took and went to Savannah State campus on, I think that was Wednesday or third. It was Wednesday. We went, me and Julius, and those students were very adamant about Band in the Box. They didn't know that you could not get into college if you were a felon, if you was a convicted felon, and they were against that. They were saying, what does education has to do with you being a returning citizen? And
But
don't you
that's
know?
like in the federal system too. Not to cut you off, they're also restoring the Pell Grant for prisoners to be able to get an education, while they're in prison. And actually, one of my good friends, Montreal Carmouche, she's like a headliner of higher education for back in prisons and everything. So it's all, to me, it's all. I think there's been a shift, and
Mhm.
time is just catching up with us where it should be. So I believe that things are going in the right direction, and we've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go.
We
And we have a lot of others that are behind us as well, and to be able to go back in and let individuals know that it's not just something that we're reading in the paper. It's not just some hot news for right now. People are really on the ground pushing these envelopes toward reform and toward change.
Right.
And just hold on. And it's hard to tell a person to hold on, you know,
Yeah.
when you're out of the situation, right? But
Exactly.
because we understand how dire it could be, and like Angela, if it wasn't for faith, to stand in front of a subcommittee of individuals that's going to tell me how or how not to rehabilitate, and for them to say, well, you got time, we'll see you next year. This was just a formality, and we're not recommending anything right now. You're like, wait a minute, I just tore my life up, and you telling me you're not going to do anything. And so to be denied a GED, a general education, and to be there 10 years, and you wouldn't allow me to get a general education, and I had to pursue my education after incarceration.
Wow.
Right. So those are the things that we're challenged with. And then the things that about is that there's so many things that are similar throughout these United States, and yet the states are different at the same time. So
On the
Okay.
federal level, they make sure you get it. No, if you don't get anything else, you get a GED, and that's because money is allotted to them. So every time a person gets a GED, the federal prison they get money. So that's one thing they do. They make you go. They make you go to class to get a GED if you don't have a GED.
and prison
Yeah.
is for rehabilitation. I mean,
Mhm.
your punishment is already, it's a given. You're away from your families, you're away from people that you care about, are the things that you're used to. So now, right, what we need you to do is utilize this time without distractions to get yourself together so that you can have a life of freedom and success, right? And like you're saying, total freedom, not just physical freedom, but a lot of us was in bondage prior to going into incarceration.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. That is
So
true. So, Angela, and they gave you, Dina, they gave you 114 years, right? Uh,
Conspiracy, yes, to control substance crime. So
Ain't that
wow.
something?
Yeah.
Ain't that something?
A
Look
Who
phone
at
take
God.
call, a phone call placing me in the mix of whatever the activity was. And so
Yeah.
that's what public, your everyday people don't know, right? Is that
Mhm.
how does this really work? The innocent until proven guilty, not working.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
Poor,
mm-mm.
disenfranchised, not working. Uh, Paying for a lawyer because you think they're going to be fair when they just want to clear the books and let's close this out, and then you scare the attorney, right? And they say, well, what we think you need to do is just take this, and you're going to take 60 years. Come on, guy. What if not? And you exercise your due process, which is a trial by your peers, right? Which mine were a bunch of engineers, believe that or not. Like, okay, right. So, and so you take this. Well, if you exercise your right, they're gonna probably give you a life sentence. You don't want to do that.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah.
So what does me exercising my right have to do with you guys enhancing the sentencing? I mean, so that's an automatic given. So that's another consequence of what people think are your rights. Well, you have a right to trial, yes, but if I exercise my right and I lose, if you will, you give me another 50 years.
Mm.
So what made
Yeah.
you do that?
Yeah.
What
Right.
made you give me another 50 years? Because
Yep.
I decided that I wanted to present evidence and let's look at it.
Yeah. And that's crazy how they do that
Yeah.
because you did what you had a right to do. They punish you for doing it if you lose. And people got to understand that they don't at this because they don't look at the system like that. And we have to bring that awareness to them with programs like this, like OAA. Um, but we have to do and advocate for how they treat us,
Right.
and we just got to be uh, uh, upfront and real with it. It's us, it's black people that they do this to. They wouldn't be caught
Right.
dead doing that to white people.
That's the
It's,
truth.
just to be real. All it's, and
No
we try
one
to
wants
look
to
out
look at
and
it.
make it apply to all offenders, but when you look at it, it is us who are being disserviced in the criminal justice system, and we have to bring light to it. And until and if we don't do this as a unit together on all levels, from the media to the programs to all the resources available, we're gonna continue to be in that hole, and we're gonna continue to be put away. See, they don't look at us as the person. All they look at is the number. Because
Yeah.
and I used to have this conversation with a bunch of my friends. Some people they could have let me go after the first 4 days that they had me locked up in 1991. After the
Wow.
first 4 days, they had to worry about me ever again. They spent 21 years of my life for nothing, because I was reformed the first 4 days.
I
But
wasn't.
but I was a police officer.
Oh, okay.
So uh, so but it's some people in there that I met don't ever need to get out.
Don't say
I'm
that.
serious.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Don't ever need to get out, because those are the ministers to society that you just couldn't reform, even after talking to them and telling them, man, that's not the thing, man. You don't want to come back in here. They don't care. So it's some people, yeah, that don't ever need to get out, but they don't look at that. They look at
No.
the number, and guess what? That person will beat you home.
Yeah.
Yes, they will. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That person will beat you home.
I've been
that
in
definitely
prison.
happened to me. Yeah, like a
I've
lot
been
of
in
people.
prison
I
for
used to be
18
like,
months, Angela, and I had a female who came to prison. I've been there 18 months, and she hadn't been back to prison twice.
oh, don't get
And
me
I
started
used
about
to
police
get
that used to
so
come
upset.
back.
I said, "Now, Lord, all they got to do is let me go."
I did research on that. When they
Tell
would
me
come back in, yeah, I did research on that. When they would
what you
come back
found
in,
out, Dina.
huh?
I said, "What did you find out in your research?"
I found out that most of them return for most of the same reasonings, and so I started putting it in like a Rolodex in my mind, like, okay, I can't do that, right? Because they was like, well, see, what happened was, and so what I realized is that many people never had the intention of coming back, but they never got a mindset shifted or anything like that, And most of the time, it was the barriers and the challenges that they were faced. They didn't know how to reintegrate back into their homes. They went back to the same places. Most of the time, it was drugs.
Right.
Yeah, addiction is really like a number one cause of people. Yeah.
And so when we take those variables and look at those things, it's like, okay, so the reforming really isn't a problem. I think the Fed has done and created a way to where the disenfranchisement that the states do when it comes down to sentencing, they sort of kind of got it a little bit better because of the point system, if you will. So that sort of kind of gives you room. So whomever falls in the points, regardless of your color or whatever, or your money or whatever. But we also know that there's still a little loop in there somewhere, right? Because if you got 25 felonies and I got 3, it says this, and then you don't get that. So it's like, oh, what happened? Well, it was the judge's discretion, and they just kept it on the low end of it. Okay.
Yeah, that point system is something else I totally disagree with. I feel like it's a one, especially with the federal system. I can't speak for state, but the federal system, it's a one size fit all. And it's just a one size fit all. So they warehousing people. Here it was that I was like I said, the first time I had never been in any trouble. I didn't have a speeding ticket or anything. I had a misdemeanor for some marijuana. Not even it was like a blunt or something from when they kicked my house in one day. But here it is that y'all gave me 30 years and 4 months. But you'll let somebody else come along who's done God knows what so many times or repeat. You'll let them go before you let me go. Like when the CARES Act came out, I didn't qualify for the CARES Act. Now how it is that I don't qualify for the CARES Act and little Mary Lou over here has been to prison 58 times, but y'all let her go. But I had to look at it that wasn't the way I looked at it is that wasn't the outlet that God had me to go. I ended up going under, but I'm just saying from in my flesh, I couldn't understand it when it was going on. When I was looking around saying, how is everybody getting out of prison except me? I was a school teacher. I have an education. I come from a good family. Father, pastor, mom is a nurse. Like it just wasn't, to me, it was unfair and it wasn't right. But I also did exercise my rights. So, when you do that, you make them a little upset. I didn't play that game. They wanted me to cooperate with them. Basically, they wanted me to do their job for them and point the finger and get other people locked up. And it just, hard as it was, because I had a 10-year-old at the time. And as hard as it was, that was a harder decision because it was like, are you choosing the streets over your child? But it wasn't that I was choosing the streets. I was choosing what I was raised on and what I believed. And my parents instilled in me, if you big and bad to do something, you be big and bad enough to handle the consequences. Right. So although my boyfriend, so-called boyfriend at the time, testified against me and friends and, people who didn't know me, I still did what I was brought up to do. And that was to keep my mouth shut. And I went on the trial and, they did what they did. But in the end, it worked out. It worked out the way it was supposed to work out. I'm not bitter. It's over and I'm here and I'm living life.
Yeah, so, that's me.
Angela, so your ex, so because I know it's over. Your ex, so is he incarcerated or is he home?
Girl, I ain't incarcerated and he told on me. No.
Also, he turned federal evidence on you.
Yeah.
I can laugh about it now. I can laugh. It's funny now, but baby, when it was happening, it was not funny.
No.
He basically traded my life for his. And yes, he testified. He got on the stand. He pointed and testified against me. He
was like Nino Brown.
He actually that was his second time in trouble. So he was automatically facing a mandatory minimum of 20 years. He was supposed to get 20 years. They told him, hey, if you tell on her, we'll cut your time. We'll give you 10. So he told on me. They gave him 10 years, but I think it did the crack law. He ended up getting the crack law. They wouldn't give it to me, but they gave it to him. Mind you, he ended up being my co-defendant. But I think he might have ended up serving 4 years, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, he probably ended up serving, 4 years or whatever.
Right.
Wow.
Sound like my story. I'm like, I'm almost having a trauma trigger sitting here like,
wow.
how did that happen? But
absolutely. Yeah. And
Absolutely.
I was, it was really hard. Cousin, one of my cousins testified against me, and it was really hard. But I just had to get to a point in while I was doing my time, and just realize that I had to forgive. I don't have to deal with them now. I don't have to talk
Right.
to them. Yeah,
No.
I don't have to talk to them. But I did have to come to a place of forgiveness, and I
Oh
had to
yeah.
remind myself that Shay, if my nickname Shay, if God can forgive you, you can forgive them.
Right.
So, but it took me years. It took me probably about a good 8 years. It took me about a good 8 years to actually just, be at peace with the situation. Now I can sit here with y'all and talk about it and laugh without cussing and acting a fool,
Right.
because it was a time I couldn't do that. And it was a time it would just turn my stomach and make me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, you
I
got to
get
lock
excited.
Shay up.
You
You
said
got to
what?
lock Shay up and just let Angela live.
Oh,
Yeah.
how you know? You must know. Yeah.
See, I tell
Dina.
people all the time, I buried Julius, the old Julius, I buried him on the rec yard in Long Park, California. He's still locked up there.
Oh, you was in
Right.
Love Park? Oh,
Long
wow.
Park, California for
Yeah.
3 years. I buried him there. He can't get out.
I know that's
He
right.
buried, if he ever get out of the ground where I buried him at, he still got the 3 fences around him. He can't get out. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's where he at. They ain't got to worry about me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, just lock Shay up and let
Yeah.
Angela live.
Dina. So what different resources that OAA provide for the people in Alabama?
Peer support. We are a referral based organization more so than anything. Social and emotional mental support. We connect them to jobs, mental health care, help them get into housing as well through the various partnerships or agencies that we've built relationships with over the years, and just actually walking through in a supportive and a casement type way. And each individual is different. We do very, very intense engagement. I have a peer now. This is his month that he'll be here. And if we collectively added up the time or days, if you will, where we engaged him over almost 365 days, we actually have had our hands on him 320 of those days.
Good.
That whether that be a phone call to go and get him for 4 or 6 hours straight. He's working on getting his disability. He's gotten his mental health medications. He's just finished his last extractions from the dentist. So everything that an individual needs, we helped him get his driver's license, took him to get the driver's test. We helped him study for the test. All of the things that an individual needs after doing an astronomical amount of time that they lose touch with the reality here. Some have never really been as responsible as a new life commands, and to do it in a way that's as less stressful and self-determining with their value and their worth, and giving them the right to make decisions and choices, and being supportive in that. That
Right.
my way doesn't have to be the way, but you do have to tell me what it is that you look for. Like, what do you want to accomplish in the next 90 days? Trust me for a little while. There's going to be a substance issue that's there. Everybody isn't AA or NA. Everybody isn't church. So what do you do with those different individuals? Well, the main thing is food, shelter, and clothing, right? According to Maslow, let's see how to get you there. Right. And we can continue to grow with you. And so that's what we do. And being a voice for those that are still behind the fence, connecting space so that they can go ahead and start, because relationship building is key.
That's right.
You can be a relationship, add to their value and worth, and let them know that they are worthy of your time, your attention, your investment, because we need to start investing in people and not buildings.
That's it. I like that.
You will not invest in people.
Yeah.
Right? You will not abandon ourselves and our own ideas for the sake of someone else. Angela was talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness is something talk about, and it's an ideology, but it's not something that people actually practice.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's for the mass. We just don't, because we have a bias, and so and that's what we tend to go on. And I hope I answered your question.
Yes, like I'm so glad to be a part of OAA. And here in Savannah, me and Julius, which I call Miko again, I say, we take I love Miko. We take and encourage, educate, and empower, because just like Dina say, nobody can do it alone. And it's connecting the dots and helping people. And I love, if I don't love doing nothing else, I love helping people. I always want to reach back and say, don't do that. And come on, let's go along. I help you along. It's good when you have somebody you can go to help you along.
Question is, today, can we be a part of the solution?
Mm.
You know what the problem is, right?
Right.
So can we be a part of the solution, right? And if the pandemic didn't teach us anything, right, that we're capable of enduring everything. And to be there. One of the things that I woke up to this morning, because I'm a spiritual being, is that love is the debt that I owe.
Mm-hmm.
I owe.
That's good, Dina.
Yeah, I owe.
I like that.
Yeah, it's the debt that I owe, right? Because in truth, that was the debt that was paid.
Mm.
Yeah.
I like
we don't want to go there, but listen, I'm free.
Come on now.
Let me out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to.
He did.
And so my gratitude is in my actions, because I'm a very grateful individual for so many things on so many different levels. But I often tell people that freedom is a little bit deeper than our physical. And as we continue to live forward, right? Continue to live forward, we'll see those doors of freedom continuing to open. And we'll see that just how much bondage, how much bondage we've had ourselves entrapped in.
Yeah. Like Dina and Angela, when you all came home from prison, because I know you have children and you've been gone for 10 years, and Angela, you've been gone for 13 years and some months and days. I don't want to cut it out. How was the relationship to build back with your daughter and with your children, Dina?
My God. Wow. Me and my son, he's 26. When I left, he was 6 years old. And that was the thing that kept me holding on. He, at that moment, was that power that was greater than myself.
Yeah.
The first 2 years, I did not talk. It was just a lot of self stuff and a lot of reading and just a lot of, and it was isolating, but it was something that I needed, right, to meet me again, that little girl that I left and abandoned at 6 years old from a trauma that I experienced with my mother, walking in on her, attempting suicide. And I realized that history had repeated itself. I abandoned my son.
Right.
I left him with those issues at 6. His walls and stuff went up too when I was mysteriously just taken away and, well, what's going on? And she's in school or she's at a job. She didn't work, and those things, and continuing to try to parent him throughout the 10 years through phone calls and stuff. And then coming home, the only thing I wanted to do was come home to my son in time enough to catch him before he became an adult, because of the things that I had became self-aware of and processes and things that I can possibly now offer unto him, that I couldn't have offered if I had stayed on the street. The only thing I would have had was a pistol and a package of dope.
Wow.
And that's just the truth of it. But then I want something different from him. And it just had to be the way it had to be. And even now, the struggle in trying to get back to that place with my son, with my baby. My daughter's different. She's an open arms, warm, calm. But with him, the love itself is our foundation, right? Mm-hmm. And to engage him now as a young man and to pour into him and, to be intentional. But the first 5 years coming home, it was I was skeptical. Some fear was there of rejection, right?
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, courage had to be there because there was some stuff we needed to talk about, not for me, but for him.
Right.
And even now, that's the space that I remain in. I understand that it's not about me. It's about whatever I'm not going to allow him to hold me hostage to anything.
Right.
At the same time, I do understand what he's going through. His responses are coming from that space.
Right.
And so when those doors open, that I can drop a nugget here and drop a nugget there. And now we're talking about principles. Now we're talking, can you be patient in spite of your feelings?
Oh, I like that.
Can you own up to your stuff, right? Because now we're talking about accountability and responsibility. Now we're talking about love, right?
Right.
The ultimate, right? When I abandoned myself now for the sake of him. Can I do that one?
Yeah.
And I die to me daily so that he may live and be a father to his children. Can I walk him in the process regardless of how long it's going to take and how much it's going to hurt? Can I truly be a mother this time? Right. And so that's what we are. He loves his mother, though. He'll cuss and text, won't curse me out. I say a cuss word on a text, won't do it in my face. And 30 minutes later, I think the man bipolar. I love you, Mom. Don't you call her. She won't let me see my son, so don't you call her. So I wait to respond, right?
Yeah.
Because I gotta think on this, right? I can't respond.
Right.
Yeah. And I said, man, why do I always end up in these emotional wars that you're having? My only concern is the care for my grandchildren, that they don't hurt and go through things because their parents don't know how to parent apart, separate. So what I probably need y'all to do is get some counseling and some parenting until y'all can figure it out. Matter of fact, I'm just going to keep praying until we talk. I love you, son. I just stop in a text like that, right?
Right.
2 minutes later, man, the man hit me with, I love you too, Mom.
Oh.
You know what? So that's what my parenting has been like. But it's still a joy to be able to do that one on this side.
Dina, we had a question here. What do this program have to help state inmates that did time who can't get jobs and resources in Atlanta?
Yolanda said that.
We do have a person there. Logie Ruffin is our program manager there. You can reach out to Miss Angela Wright. She can be a liaison as well to connect you to the other messengers as well as the resources that through our different partnerships that are in Atlanta. Urban League is there. City of Refuge is where we actually have an OAA hub in partnership.
Yeah, we meet every Tuesday night, 5:30 to, I'm sorry, not 5:30, 6 to 7 p.m.
Okay.
Anybody's welcome. Yeah, anybody's welcome.
Okay. Well, and the thing is, I guess we got to have what needs to happen because these resources need to be in everybody's hands when they leave prison.
Yeah.
What we need to do is try to find some way that when a person leaves and goes through R&D, when they're leaving and you're checking out,
yes,
the packet needs to be in their hands so they can know where they need to go at for help.
R&D.
And we have to try to reach these people through other people and everything.
Exactly.
And sometimes people are crying out for help and they don't know where to go. If you don't have that family support system behind you like Angela had, then sometimes you are lost. You go back to hanging on that corner, hanging with old friends, and next thing you know, you're back in trouble. You're doing things and you taking that risk. You don't need to take it if you know that you can go to OAA or some other resource that you can get a job. Somebody that can point you in the right direction, lead you here, help you start a business. An old friend who's doing good that you might have been in there and learned how to cook. You might want to open a food truck. You might have been in there and learned the HVAC system. You might want to be an electrician or something. Somebody needs to help these people when they get home so they can lead them in the right direction so they won't fall off the map. And I think the system is failing us.
And what we do know is that we are a resource for ourselves, because the myth is that won't nobody hire you because you're a felon. Yes, they will, because we're working.
They will. That's right.
We're working. And so if we're working, then we can say, well, look, you can put an application in over here or over there. At least you know where employees are felony friendly. I did drop our website. They can go on there. They can get their family members pre-exit to go on there and fill out a form that we have on the website. That's our Friday night virtual meetings that we have. That's hosted out of Atlanta at 6 o'clock. Angela, is it?
Yeah, 6 to 7 at City of Refuge, 1300 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, and that's in Atlanta.
Okay, that's Tuesday. That's in person, and then there's a virtual support meeting on Fridays at 6. And so I put the Zoom link there, and family members are welcome. All are welcome, and fire those questions out there because we are here for each other. That's the sole purpose of OAA. It is for that individual that's exiting. There are some that's falling through the cracks that's been out a while and just don't know.
Exactly.
And so there's always someone that'll be able to answer questions or direct you in the right direction to get you to where it is that you're trying to go. One of the biggest things that individuals don't do, and that's exercise patience. Right?
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of people too. It's so easy to get discouraged when you're trying and no one's calling back, or you didn't get that job. But the key is to stay consistent and not give up. It's just like when you was in prison, you didn't give up. You had to keep going. You had to make yourself, even when you didn't feel like getting out the bed in the morning and your feet touching that cement floor, you had to make yourself get up and go on about your business and about your day. So it's the same thing I say to anybody listening now, and who's discouraged or just seem like they not finding their way. You got to use that same tenacity. You got to go. You got to get up and go. You got to grind. You got to hit it every day. I don't care if they say 10 times they deny you or they don't call you. Guess what? Go again. One day somebody gonna call back. One day somebody gonna give you a chance. You just you can't give up. You know how many times I got denied? Man, those people thought I was crazy. I wrote Obama so many times. The White House should have just told me to stop writing them. People thought I was crazy, but I knew one thing that I was not going to do, and that was going to give up. I felt like I wasn't meant to sit in prison 30 years. Well, I was 30 years old since the 30 years. No, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. And many times I would get in that shower and I would cry. But guess what I didn't do? I wouldn't give up. So I just say to my fellow, felons or people who's not even felons that's going through right now, you can't give up. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. Tears in your eyes, just keep going.
Just keep going. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yes,
I need to see that on the back of one of those Felon Rock t-shirts. Just keep
okay.
Why don't you tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, Angela, and just tell them again about your book. Tell them how they can order your t-shirts, where they can go on your website or your Facebook page. This is what we're here for, to network so that we can get everybody to understand that it ain't over. You can,
and also your
might have
two-page
started out wrong. How Julia said.
But guess what? Thank you, Mr. Hall, because guess what? I thought I was going to have to try to plug it myself. No, but the t-shirt, the website for the t-shirt is www.felonsrocks.com. That's www.felonsrocks.com. And I also sell a whitening toothpaste that's really, really good. Got to really, really good. And you can my Facebook page is Felons Rock as well. And if you look interested in toothpaste, you could just hit me up on Facebook. Instagram is Felons Rock as well. You can reach me.
You know what? Excuse me, Angela, for cutting you off. I think you should link up with AB. AB got a store. He sell clothes. He can sell your t-shirts inside of his store.
Okay, speak it.
Okay, go on and do it. Go on and do it.
Yeah, he just said that his link was blank. Mm-hmm. His link was blank and he couldn't get on. I sent him the link 3 times, and I sent it to you on Facebook too, AB. I don't know where he at.
I'm gonna send you his Facebook page. I'm gonna send you his Facebook page, and he has 2 stores in North Carolina, and you need to get in his store. And I'm telling y'all, you're gonna blow up, Angela.
Okay, all right, okay. Now I'm speaking. I receive it. I receive it.
It's coming.
And I hope y'all have me back when that book get ready to come out. And
We're gonna have you back whenever you're ready to come back. You
and
know.
That's
Mr.
right.
Hall, I expect when you going around campaigning and politicking, just have that book in your bag. Just
Hey,
look out for a
hey,
Throw the
sister.
book
hey.
out.
We're,
Have
we're
that
gonna
book
have
back
a
with you.
we're gonna have a book show that Marie is gonna be getting up to after a while. We're gonna have a book show, so y'all bring your books. Everybody that wrote a book, we're gonna have them on show. Well, we can't put, but about if it's three of us, or four of us on here hosting, we can't have but six other people. So we're gonna bring five or six people at a time, and we're gonna have you showcase your book, like these books. You know,
Mm-hmm.
these guys are friends of mine, and they're awesome writers, awesome speakers. Both of these guys here are awesome speakers. This guy here puts on God's Trombone. It's a play that y'all got to see. God's Trombone is just an awesome play. Y'all look him up, Donald Gilliard. And this brother here, he's a prolific speaker, being asked about, they asking about him all over the world. He goes from one end of the country to the other, speaking as a motivational speaker. Awesome brother. But get this book and read it. I will not be denied. Bad boy. This is my boy. Y'all get it. I'm serious.
Also,
And we're
before
gonna
we leave, before we go, you
Mhm.
said they can hear this at Jessup.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I just want to say to my brother Darryl Vaughn, I love you. He's there. He's serving a life sentence. He's my play brother, but I love you and hold your head and your day coming. Don't give up. And also, I just want to say to family members and friends and stuff, if you have someone incarcerated, especially at this time of year, okay, you might not want to sit down and write a letter, but please at least send a card. Send some pictures. They have apps now where you don't even have to go print the pictures out yourself. Mail call is so important in prison. I thank
Yes, it
God. Like I
is.
said, I had a great support system. One girl used to tease me all the time because at that time I had been in prison 10 years, but my name was on the mail call list every day. And she used to say, I think you're sending yourself mail. But I just had a great support system. So
Right.
I encourage or I implore everybody, if you know somebody that's in prison, the holidays is a really, really hard time in prison. People start to get depressed because they want to be home with you want to be home with your family. So if you have someone that's there, I just please send them a card, send them some pictures, send them a couple dollars. It's Christmas time. I mean, 10, 15, $25, just send them some money. But don't forget people. Don't leave them for dead just because they're not here and they're not in your face. Try to just do the right thing by, people you was friends with or your loved ones or whatever. And I just want to thank you guys for having me. I love my sister Dina. I didn't know we was gonna be on here together.
I
And,
think that was Marie's plot, was to support
oh,
both
okay.
of us. And I
Yep.
great
And
thanks,
I
especially
think Marie found her a good co-host for when we are absent. She could call you because you could talk. Dina, Dina, tell everybody how to get in touch with you, darling.
All right, you can email me at ddickerson@offenderalumni.org. You can find me on Facebook. That's Dina OAA. You can call me at 205-901-485. What I am truly known for, if nothing else, is that I connect people. That's just my gift, and I give it away. I heard somewhere that seed will be given to the sower. So that's what I do. I sow.
We had a sister that was on here the other day. She's a friend of my friend. What was her name? Sean. What the girl? She was on here in her park. She was in the park. Marie, but
I
she
don't
needs to get in touch with OAA. I think y'all son of the OAA.
who
She
is
out of
talking about.
Atlanta. Oh, she probably watching now. Man, my mind's so bad. I've been doing so much. My mind bad. Y'all just have to excuse me.
Well, let me say this before we end the show, because Julius is not here tonight, but he loved to say this at the end of the show. We may have started off wrong, but that does not mean we can't finish strong.
That's
I know
correct.
that's right.
I
You
like
know?
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. You know, that's correct.
right, girl.
We are gonna have you all back on whenever, because the information. I know we didn't get a lot of time for y'all to tell y'all stories, but this is the initial setting for y'all to us to introduce y'all to our audience, and we look forward to having y'all back on whenever y'all feel like coming.
Now I have my
Y'all got,
computer right too. I won't be on
yeah,
the
yeah,
phone. I
you
had a
do that.
computer right.
You do that. Let somebody show you how to do that because you don't even know what Facebook
Yeah,
is.
I love this, right? I love it, right? I do. But we
Yeah,
really don't have, who, yeah,
yeah,
that's what we
but
do, right?
and y'all share. What we trying to do is we want to be able to to bring this entertainment and this informational platform everywhere.
Right.
ATR is a company I started years ago, but I've only had the media part 2 years. It's all things relevant because we want in our community to make things relevant. We have 11, 12 shows on now with four or five more starting, hopefully before the end of the year, the first of the year, if I can get the right help to help me put it in place. I hope they're listening. Um, and but y'all tune in. We following like just don't be on the night because you on tonight. All of you all who are listening out there who are on here because of Angela and Dina, y'all follow us, All Things Relevant Media on Facebook. Our YouTube page, we have not been pushing it because we have a name change coming after a while in the first of the year. But on Facebook, you can find everything. On YouTube, you can find all our shows for the past year. On Facebook, you can find all our shows for the past 2 years. Not only this show, but the other shows also. We got another show coming up that you all at 8 o'clock. It is what it is, and then at 10:30, that's our adult show, our comedy show with Bernard America Brown. It's called America After Dark. So if y'all are chilling at home at 10:30 tonight, tune in to All Things Relevant Media, um, and um, and y'all get the laughs and some seriousness. And Angela, you just getting home, you might find a husband. Um,
Who said I
uh,
was looking? I'm not looking.
oh,
Man.
okay, she's not even looking.
I'm
Okay,
not looking.
okay.
What is that? I
That's what.
thought it say a man that
That's when
find a
they come
wife find a
about,
good
Angela.
thing.
That's when they come about.
You said what?
That's when they come about. That's when the husband come out. They say a man that
That
findeth a
find
wife
that
findeth a good
findeth a
thing.
good wife, finding a good thing. I
That's
ain't
right.
looking, Julius. He didn't come when he's supposed to come.
Right, you might see him, and then
Yeah,
he might find you.
Oh, okay.
exactly.
And
Okay.
Yeah.
and see how these people are commenting on the side right there. You might comment tonight on the show, and they might want to know who he might be watching now. He might already found you.
See they?
Tell him to find that website and that toothpaste. Tell him to find that.
That's what he
Yeah.
gonna do. I'm sure that's
And
what
then,
he'll do.
and then they'll know where the smile come from.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
I picked that one up Saturday. I picked that one up Saturday. Yeah,
That's
I picked
right.
that one up Saturday. I've been smiling ever since. Let me get my smile on now.
Yeah, see all these people in the comment section over there.
They
Those
say
are who
LOL.
watch.
They say LL. We need a wedding. That's
No,
what
Katie,
Katie say.
that's my sister, y'all. That's my sister. That's one of my
Uh-oh.
sisters saying we need a wedding. She's married. That's fine.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
toothpaste is the way
And
to our
Deanna say
heart. We're gonna
toothpaste
have
is the
somebody.
way to her
We're
heart.
gonna we're gonna have somebody buy that toothpaste. We're
Ooh.
gonna have somebody buy that toothpaste. But we usually don't last but an hour. We this show's an hour. We are an hour and 8 minutes now because
Okay.
I'm the boss. We can run how long we want. But as long as we don't go over 2 hours because we can't rerun anything over 2 hours. But anyway, we about to go in a minute. But I want to
Yes.
make sure that you all know that y'all are welcome anytime that y'all want. Marie will be calling y'all when me and Miko ain't available to help her. She might need y'all to just help her do a show.
That's
Okay.
right.
And as soon as I could teach her how to be an admin, because I had to show her, Lord have mercy. Uh, but anyway, the information is great. We want to help as many people as we can. We need to work together to see how we can get these resources, other information to resources into the federal and state prisons. So when somebody leaves prison, they can get this information. They can get a sheet with all the information on it saying, call this, and if they take the time to call, somebody's going to help you.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I know Dina right there. Dina ready to help you.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I'm
then
building
looking at
soldiers, though. I'm about ready to, just pass the baton to so many other of these foot soldiers that's coming, that's on fire, that understands the passion and the why to it. It's not about numbers as much as it's about people lives really having
that's correct.
changes that's needed. We come from it from a different space that most people that are agencies, let's get 50 people in this year and people are still living up on the bridges.
Yes.
And so we do what we do because we understand on a deeper level. Like Angela said, we can laugh about it today.
Yeah.
Right? But see, no one but a person like her could have gave a shout out inside the institution, understanding that there's somebody balled up in the fetal position.
Yeah.
Right? That needs to guidance. Because life start moving real fast when we get out here.
Yeah, it does.
Move as fast in there, right?
Right.
When we get out here, everything's going on. Then you realize what pace they had us on, right? And so you're trying to, you got all kind of obligations to yourself. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You got to get your life in order. You told the bro you're going to send him $25 here. Then you got the right, you need to be on a video call here. And then you got other people out here that, oh man, and then you're trying to connect with family, trying to get reacquainted with children. You're trying to build your own career and your life back up. And man, but they're not forgotten. We are fighting the fight for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's time for us to show up. They were talking about banning the box. People that are showing up for us need us to show up too. You know,
that's right.
We got so many different groups that's fighting for the person with the background and that's been previously just as involved, and we're not standing up. So we need to stand up for the brothers and sisters that don't know that life and life anew is readily available to you, and you just got to put the work in and hold on. We're looking for you.
Yep.
That's just what we do. We spread the good news to Marie and Julius. They got it, the heartbeat. They're like, hey, we need to start one of these in Savannah. Let's start it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That started with a full-time job and volunteering 30 hours a week. Me and another guy just had did 37 years on a life without parole. Drove up to Savannah to support them and to start this effort.
Yeah.
We have the bandwidth, but grace. But grace. A lot of times we're going in our own pockets, getting things done.
That's right.
They're complaining to others for us, right? But they won't give it like talking about it to us.
That's right. Because we got a job to do. You are absolutely correct. Yeah, because these kids out there, Dina, these kids out there are just I mentor some young kids, and these young kids out there, I'm just I don't even know. I'm lost for words to say what I am when it comes to them. I do all I can, and they still don't have this concept of I got I'm trying to do right and live. One told me, well, three of them I had yesterday helping me do some work. I pay them, take them out, and I have them doing work on all the campaigns and stuff that I have. And they're not scared to die. That's they sit back, they're having this conversation. They're not scared to die. They say, so what if I die? What the heck? I can't comprehend it. I don't understand. I can't reach them to understand that you need to live. You're not scared to die.
Yeah, it's a different generation, but that's one of my main focus too. Children. Yeah, that's one of my main focus is children.
Yeah. I'm trying to reach them best I can. We doing all we can. We got a network of guys that we're trying to get. Jabo, this is see what they used to call me in prison, lucky. I wasn't lucky. I was just good. But buy that toothpaste, Jabo. That's what you do.
That's right, Jabo. Get that toothpaste. Go to Fellas
Send him the link, Angela, so he can get that toothpaste.
He's where?
I said send him the link.
Get that toothpaste, www.felonsrock.com. Go to www. Get that toothpaste, Mike. He's in Dalton, Alabama.
Dalton, Alabama. That's where my father from. That's where my case out of. Georgia. What's his name?
Mike Walker Jabo.
Jabo.
See him right there on there. That's where he at down there in Dalton.
Yeah, Dalton. Anyway. That's where I be for the holidays with my aunt.
Okay. Okay. See, y'all might be cousins. You'll never know.
His last name not right. We not cousins. Going on, Julius.
Yeah, yeah. Walker, right? Well, don't make no difference. He might find your husband. You ain't been home but 7
There
months.
you go. Do you still, boy? You
Okay,
working
the
on
husband. While you talking to your cousin Mike, you might the man might find you.
Yo, you know what? Thank y'all for having me tonight.
Good night, y'all.
Tina, I love you.
Love you, Dina.
Love you, Marie.
I
love
Julius,
you,
you know what? You
guys, I
something else.
really do. Let's keep this movement alive. Let's
Okay.
reach back and help somebody.
All right.
All right.
Right, let's save
We
our
appreciate
children.
y'all. We
Okay.
appreciate
Good
y'all, and we what that
Hey,
is?
I'm
Where's
gonna
Dina?
Deanna. Deanna, that's one of my friends out of Indiana.
She's man,
she
we
said-
bring toothpaste.
Y'all bring toothpaste. Where y'all bring
Yeah.
toothpaste to?
Okay.
Whoever she probably talking. Oh, she needs delivery. Yeah, they keep you in the surrounding area. Mm-hmm.
So I'm ready for
Okay.
that girl
Okay.
salt.
And
Okay.
Florence laughing. Okay, Florence and
Yeah, Florence is
Deanna and Katie
Birmingham.
and
That's my fault.
Jabo. We just getting a shout out to all the people that are on here. Y'all go back and y'all watch the show, share the show, tell your friends. Like I say, don't make this the last time that y'all watching. We got shows 7 days a week. Y'all
Yes.
just tune in to All Things Relevant Media. We're building something here. And something else. Katie said you're gonna get that wedding.
He's not thinking about Katie.
And it's in Alabama. We bring it to Alabama for the holidays.
Come
Oh,
on,
the
Okay.
toothpaste. Yeah, for the
Christian.
holidays.
Drop
Yeah.
your info. Let me get that. Let me get
Okay.
that because we're getting ready to do some bags for the ladies at the work release center. What?
Okay, Deanna, you heard that, Deanna. See, we're gonna make sure
Yeah.
Deanna ain't out there just talking. Deanna, we want to work in.
Why not? If we're gonna spend our money with aim,
Now, I'm
That's
gonna see
it.
all y'all.
you know.
And you heard that, Angela?
Yes, I
All
am.
right. Dina put you on right now.
Okay.
Let's do that. You know, because
Every-
that's what we're saying. We're saying we're building a network of individuals, creating healthy
That's it.
relationships.
That's
Helping
right.
them consider
That's
bills.
right.
If she can keep a job and pay her bills, she might not sell no reefer.
Come on now.
Now I'm gonna sell toothpaste. I ain't gonna sell no.
You get my point, though.
Yeah.
I'm saying we want to help people, but are we helping people in a way that
Exactly. That's why I say Angela. She putting you on.
Yeah.
Let's go there.
All right. She said she could buy AIM. She could buy the toothpaste from you.
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Good night, y'all.
let's go there.
Good night.
Good night, and don't forget, we'll have y'all back on soon because y'all were great guests.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And y'all
Thank
get that
y'all
toothpaste.
so
Y'all
much.
buy
Thank
that
y'all. Y'all be
toothpaste.
safe.
All right.
Make sure y'all buy that toothpaste. Good night.
Yes,
Good
buy
night.
the toothpaste. Good night.
Bye.